Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to
Turn your sound down, Frank.
Live from Rabs.
Hi, everybody.
We're I don't know. Sometimes we hear you. Yes, Dennis. I'm sure you heard us.
Clearly, you could tell I didn't know that the mic was live. So
2 days now, I've decided we could play some music in the background before we go. And both times I did say, Nez, we're live. The mic is hot. And then she still babbles anyway.
He didn't say that today.
I said it 3 times.
After I was speaking, you said it.
I told you the first time. Oh.
Come on.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Live from Rabs, from inside Rabs Country Lanes. Today is episode 82.
We're creeping.
We are. We're creeping.
We're creeping up on it.
We're creeping. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the... we were singing. I picked a song. I didn't... I don't know what that was, but it was something.
Yeah, it's like I guess unlicensed music, and it was a nice little kind of Bob Marley kind of funky kind of beat. So
yeah, you didn't like my pick yesterday. You didn't like my pick yesterday.
I did not like it
because you couldn't dance.
It was a weird sort of beat.
This was weird too.
It was more a little bit of a reggae.
Oh, yeah,
it was a little bit of a reggae.
But as much as of it that was reggae, it was labeled pop.
Well, that's where we are right now.
Oh, hey! So today is Tuesday, June 7th. I'd like to make sure we say
what? Tuesday what?
Oh my God! June 16th. It is my nephew Thomas's 7th birthday.
Happy birthday, Thomas.
Happy birthday to Thomas. Thomas had a little get together over the weekend with the family, and today we did a little drive-by celebration, which I'm telling you should always be.
It should continue.
Yeah. So just a little glimpse. I picked up Grandma. We got in the car and off we went. My brother was very enthused over the drive-by, as you could hear him laugh in the background. And they live on a dead end, so...
So did everybody go back up around and come back down
you
again?
you actually have to turn around on the same block.
Tyler! What up, bud?
Always fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those are fun. I've been enjoying those, and it's funny. Almost like every day.
Yeah, we passed yesterday. We passed people lining up on the block, Burger on the end of Burger. They were lined up all the way down the block, getting ready, preparing for a drive-by.
Yeah.
So, it's a see some of the things that I think are going to come out of this are a nice way to a different celebration.
Yeah, and I've been seeing it for everything, not just birthdays, graduations.
Yep.
Although my mother...
Oh, I should have sent you a picture of Nikki stepping up today.
Send it to me.
I didn't think of it.
Send it now. If you have it, email it to me.
Send it to
Nikki, how old is Nikki?
He is 6 years of old age. Well, he's
6
5. He's going to be 6.
He's going to be 6 and had a stepping up today. How cool.
Yeah.
Alexandra's going to have her step up, but they really haven't set the plan in motion. I think they were trying to push it off and wait.
Yeah, I think that's why this seems kind of late, but actually it's not, because it's only the middle of June, not even the middle of June, barely the middle of June. And so, they would probably still be in school, but so you want me to email it to you?
Yeah, I could show everybody. So, and happy early birthday to Dickie Hillpop.
Oh.
Celebrating the big 7-0.
Really? Well.
This week. Yeah.
He looks pretty good.
He doesn't think we pay attention to these. We were just talking about my mother. My mother threw him under the bus, telling
Him
me
and
how
Ray
old
go
he was.
back to the olden days.
So
I think I sent it.
somebody had asked, I don't know who it was, but earlier when we first signed on, asked if we were open yet. Obviously, you could see from behind us, we are
We're
not
not.
open yet. And all we know, and which we've been sharing, we are in phase 4 of the governor's plan, and we're just here in New York City entering. We're closely getting to phase 2.
Closing in on phase 2 next week.
Yeah. So we are in phase 4, which, if all goes well, anticipate mid to late July. So fingers crossed that we that all's going well
And you know, I'm going
in
to
the
be honest
world,
with
and
you.
we'll get open soon as we can.
I don't want to talk politics. I don't want people flaming me on any social media. And you can say what you want about our local government, but I honestly think they handled it the right way. While people were screaming for us to reopen, we can see that some of the states that may have opened a little too early are starting to have rises and not in positive cases, because obviously testing is going up, so we're going to have more positive cases, but the hospitalizations are going up. So, you know, I'm not saying that's super alarming, but we'll take it slow. We'll do it the right way.
Yeah, there are advantages here, which we've been saying since the beginning.
And you know what? We won't have to worry that we open up too soon and then we have to close again.
Well, we hope that's the case.
Right.
We really hope that's the case.
That would be the worst case scenario.
Yeah, we reopen, have to close. And listen, small businesses are hurting. I will tell you from our experience, this is very difficult.
It's
many of us
impossible.
are not getting enough funding to help just pay the current bills.
Yep.
Because they really haven't changed. While we did, listen, we called Verizon. We
just shut off what you can.
Yeah, but you know what?
What you can.
It really wasn't much.
No.
After all said and done, I got the last bill. I looked at it. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Now of course, the electric bill and gas and less usage you have. But, everything else doesn't change.
Comparatively, because when when you go to zero income, how do you anticipate that? How do you continue to pay anything? So, as Frankie said, it's been a bit of a slog, but you know what? We're hanging on, and the light at the end of the tunnel is nearing.
Yep.
And hopefully, when we come out, we can come out and be out comfortably and stay out, and maybe the restrictions will be a little tiny bit looser.
Right.
And,
which is what we've been talking about. We've been very consistent, right? We've been saying
from the beginning.
One, we probably have while we're upset that we're in phase 4, we will learn a lot through all the phases and from other states and other industries. And so, we've been very consistent. So, and to your point, which I couldn't agree more. Yeah, we want to be open yesterday. And by all means, we need to be open yesterday, but we have to, you know what? This is also a learning opportunity too, about our own business. And I will say, this is a perfect segue. So the Staten Island Advance, through SI Live, started this, what they're calling Rally for Staten Island. And if you go to, it's rally, the number 4, statenisland.com, a new website where you can, see basically it's a local business listing where businesses can go on and display whether they're open, closed, or how you can support support the businesses.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, this launched this week, and so kudos to the Staten Island Advance for taking the initiative to provide this type of listing during these times. And so it outlines discounts that might be available during this time, but more about showing support to the Staten Island business community, which they're doing in a couple different ways. They've launched the Together SI videos and updates from inside businesses. And so if you go to silive.com in the top left-hand corner on the menu, check it out.
Yeah.
Together SI, and then here rallyforstatenisland.com, and you can learn how you can support your local businesses as we're getting open.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And, Staten Island has always had a strong sense of community, so that they're saying we're freezing, although I don't see it on my phone.
I don't either.
There it is.
So if you're freezing, it might be.
I thought
we're not seeing it.
I thought he meant weather. Oh, he was free. We were freezing.
You are free. Yeah, it is. It's a little chilly in here today.
But that's all right.
Oh, do you want a jacket? Do you want a sweater?
I usually do.
A sveta? You want a sveta?
I'm good.
I'll get you a little sveta. So support your local businesses. Shop
Yes.
small. Visit rallyforstatenisland.com. And now, there's some great momentum in the restaurant space.
Yes.
And June 22nd looks like the reopen date. And I have to say, if you visit SI Live, you can see there's some great behind the scenes. Some of the restaurants who have
worked very hard.
Yeah, and I will tell you from so in New Jersey they're opening. My brother was telling us about curtains at the theater opening up in Avenel, and he said just in the township of Woodbridge, a lot of creativity has happened. So on Main Street, where they don't have parking lots, not all of them, some of them. Costello's, for example, has put up tents in half of their parking lot. Great, they have the space.
Right.
Some of the other restaurants were able to put tables and chairs. They're even talking about what Minthorn Street is also talking about, closing the street and using the street for people to. And Minthorn's a perfect spot for that.
The perfect spot to do that. I mean, I know across the street by the railroad, there, they do have a space that they talked about putting a park there and use it as a little performance space, but that is not a trafficked area. So I believe that would be a perfect place to do it. Yeah. Parking might be squeezed in a little bit there, but I'm sure they can come up with a plan for that.
Yeah. So and that's what Anthony says happening in Woodbridge. And he's Christopher Michaels.
Yes.
Excuse me.
There it is. That's a good one.
Oof. That was like a build-up. I was building up for that. Thank you. Chris Michaels, he says, looks absolutely beautiful outside where they and our restaurants are doing that. I've seen some great pictures. Rob DeLuca was on our show last week and he's talking about supporting the other restaurants and what he's able to do. I'm still concerned for the little guys, that don't have space. Yeah. So if there are ways to transform the outside frontage space or even in the back.
Right.
Now we talk about Venum. He's been open for takeout and delivery, but he's got that back that he just spent time in closing. Yeah. I don't know what he's going to do. I haven't seen his plan, but it looks like there are plenty of ways. So when we get reopened, I'm sure people will be flooding just to go out. Yeah. And I have to say, I'm seeing our friends who have gone to other states, Connecticut, Delaware, Pennsylvania, just to go out and get out. I mean, I'm not getting in the car to go drive. I mean, it's just not for me. I will go to Atlantic City when it opens. I mean, that's definitely a little breakaway.
Yes.
But just to go out for dining, for me,
it's not.
I don't. I'll go to. We're going to go to Woodbridge, and we're going to support Anthony's work and in the theater and the restaurant there, and PK, who's a Staten Islander there, and that'll be the extent. I just struggle with. I want to go out, enjoy myself, want to have a drink or two. I don't want to be driving. Right. So. Kudos. I mean, it looks like fun. You guys have been sharing some great photos, and I hope you're enjoying your little travels while you can. Yeah,
and you know what? I guess sometimes for people that may have been doing something close to that anyway. There were people that drove down to the shore every weekend. Oh yeah. So that might be in their what they might normally be doing anyway. So maybe they're just going someplace different. Yeah. But yeah, it's.
I like to make a day. If I'm going to do that, I want to make a day. I want to be able to go shopping or go somewhere and do some sightseeing. Right. And there are plenty of places to go sightseeing. Yeah. Whether it's monuments or museums, and a lot of them aren't open, but you have to look for the outdoor activities. This will be the next few months that people are going to be staying home and staying local, which is great. So here's your opportunity.
You know what?
To do that.
I've actually given some thought to when things shake out. planning my vacation again. And I will get on an airplane because I'm not concerned about that. I'll do what I have to do. And
you almost did this show by yourself, and I was going to be in Texas. I was supposed to be in Texas today.
oh, really?
So I'm actually, for my USB-C friends, I'm actually on a conference call in the office. I just have it open, so when I go back, it'll be there.
It's there, right.
We had a group today that was meeting, and so I was slated to go. Originally, I wasn't going to go. Thomas's birthday, we were having a party, whatever. Then we kind of changed plans because of weather and unknown. So when I was looking at flights, I could have. I could have. However, with the limited number of flights, I was willing to get on a plane. Yet I would have gotten a plane, no problem.
Yeah.
Price wise was okay,
Right.
but it were my options. Leaving out of Newark, even JFK to go to Dallas, which one is an American hub? Fly United. So
United, right?
even though it's not busy, and looking at those flights, now United went from having 3 to 4 flights a day to one.
Yeah.
And I would have wasted a lot of time traveling, and I wasn't up for that. I wasn't up for leaving yesterday at 8 a.m. to then go sit. I would have went to the campus. I would have worked in an office somewhere.
But still, that's not.
I could have done this remotely fine, but I just wasn't willing to waste a whole day. And for today, and then tomorrow, I couldn't come home till later.
Yeah.
So
so
the flight options are going to be tough for a while. And if you listen to, the point of me sharing that is the fact of the airline and the hospitality business, because you want to, you talk about planning a vacation, which I want to tomorrow, but getting on a plane. For me, I'm no problem. You wear your mask. There are plenty of ways to do it.
Yeah.
I think they're clean. They're keeping middle rows open, which is a flyer's dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've some of my friends who are traveling sent
Aisle
some
and
photos. Yeah, I think it's great. It's going to be interesting to watch as they are struggling for sure.
Yeah,
and they're going to struggle longer than most will.
Yeah.
And a lot of these
big recovery. They were running at 95% deficits.
Yeah.
So that's
there. And now people will want to travel. People want to go places and enjoy themselves. And I think it's going to be challenging because what are your options? How much are you willing to spend? Because I do believe the ticket price right now, they might be a little low.
Yeah.
And they were
going to have to go up.
2 months ago, they were very low.
Yeah.
If you were able to book something that you got some great deals.
Yeah. They're going to have to go up.
Oh yeah, no choice. They're running at smaller capacities.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to watch. So those planning vacations, I'd love to hear when we do get back in action. I'd love to hear from you and tell me how you're.
It's so funny because over a year ago, probably about a little over a year ago, we were tossing around the idea of a motorhome. And actually, we've been talking about it for a few years, but actually last year we went and looked. We went to this big, huge motorhome show in Pennsylvania, and we drove out, and it was quite eye-opening. When I was a kid, we had a motorhome, and it was adequate. I'm a kid, so I thought it was a big deal. But they have all of the conveniences of home and more. So, we tossed around the idea a bit, but, we just kind of put it on the back burner. But I wonder how many people will be reconsidering that as a vacation idea.
I know a lot of people that do it on a regular basis.
It was always always my dream to go, obviously, like everybody else, not everybody, but a lot of people, to go across the United States, visit as many ballparks as I could, baseball parks, and just to really see the United States. And so now I wonder, I would think that that's going to be a popular option for people now who are not going to want to travel by plane.
Yeah, and for Right. And they're not even just for cost, because it's not cheap to do anyway, between the price of gas and traveling. So more for the option of not flying. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I have friends that do once a year. They plan this trip. They go north, south, and back, and sometimes west and east. And they have lots of. There are more stops today that you can stop that are friendly. A lot of the ballparks certainly are friendly for RVs to an extent. There are ways to do it.
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I would certainly go. If you want to dedicate, listen, I do believe that if I'm going on a vacation,
right,
I do want to go lay on a beach and do nothing. At the same time, I think that's a different type of vacation that I would want to do also.
Yeah. It's another option. I mean, you can certainly lay on a beach and do nothing and just drive down the East Coast and stop in every beach city along the coast. There are amazing places, and it's just something.
And funny, and Kenny Soto, if you're still there, I want you. You guys are cruisers. Would you think twice about cruising in the coming? And they just and their whole. I mean, we talked about this in the beginning and with Kenny, but they had embarked on a trip right before, like in the beginning of all this.
Yeah.
It got out a little bit. I mean, they spent a lot of time on the boat. I mean, it was great experience overall. You still got out, did your thing, but not what you had planned. Right. Moving forward, I have friends that love cruising also, and Kenny's one of them. Are people going to want to continue to do that and that type of atmosphere?
Yeah, and it's funny.
You could always go to South Beach.
Cruise ships. Miami South Beach, I agree.
Yeah, that's not a vacation.
Cruise ships have, I mean, even going back before this virus, they've always kind of been a petri dish for viruses and stuff like that. So, I mean, this has just brought something else to the forefront. And
like Kenny was telling us when they went to gamble, all the chips were stuck together, but because they were still wet from being cleaned.
Because they cleaned
and
so much.
And I'm sure there'd be. I know people have a great experience on cruising. So, Kathy's even saying,
a great vacation.
Can't cruise. I can't wait to cruise again. So, check it out. No problems. They want to cruise. Their July 4th cruise was canceled. Yeah, I've heard cruises. Anybody that had anything booked through maybe the beginning of August that I know of personally have been canceled. I don't know how far they've gone out, but they have one for New Year's. That's got to be fun too. Hey, I don't want to lose sight here. Our friend Daniel Block shared something here, and so. We'll learn a little bit more, but he's fundraising for breast cancer through a drumathon, which is pretty cool. Definitely a unique way to raise some money during this time. And
that's Daniel for you.
He's awesome. I mean, he's always doing something different and loves to help others and also helps us fundraise. So check out, he dropped his link there if you want to check it out and see what he's up to. But drumathon, that's something new, very creative. I mean, we could have a fundraiser. I could certainly use a fundraiser right now.
Excuse me.
Excuse you. It's okay.
My allergies.
I thought you were going to say Corona.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say it.
Hey,
I don't want to jinx myself.
So I do want to share this because we were talking about the phases in our government, but our meme of the day, and I don't want anybody to be insulted by this, but I think it's pretty funny. Did you see this? So, New Yorkers are smart, loving, united, and tough.
I love him, but that's friggin' funny. Somebody didn't proofread that slide. Come on, this is New York. We're not in Podunk, Iowa, where somebody might not catch us. And nothing against Podunk.
I don't know. I'm because he talks about New Yorkers being strong.
Yeah,
and this is definitely something. I don't believe the graphic itself is edited. I think that certainly was on the air. I don't know for sure. I didn't get this myself, but I thought that was pretty
Maybe
funny.
If anybody else saw it, let us know, because that is actually funny.
That's our meme of the day. We've had some funny ones. I'm always looking for, if you see something, share it with us. We're always looking for some funny. Sometimes, right before showtime, we're digging for something. Or sometimes they're sitting there in the queue. I have a bunch of them sitting on my desktop. They get
loaded up.
They get moved in when we can. But I just thought that was funny. Sorry that I digressed.
No.
Travel.
We have open discussion today.
So, I just want to travel. I'm not going to be able to travel for a while, so it doesn't make a difference. I have to say, though, now that we take Sundays off, phase 1 for Live from Rabs, Sunday I felt very unessential. And it was a wonderful feeling. And I also took the opportunity to claim my benefits for my unemployment on Sunday.
Sunday is the day.
I sat by the pool with a glass of wine and I did my work. And
questions.
I answered my questions. And then so I really felt unessential Sunday. And it felt a little good for a minute.
For a few minutes.
Because I shouldn't be able to be doing that right now. But I have to say, it was nice.
You have to learn to enjoy what life puts in front of you because that's the only way you're going to survive.
Oh.
I mean, we could sit and complain about what we're going through. And not that we don't have our moments where we commiserate together about what our businesses are going through together.
What good is that, right?
Correct. I mean, if it pushes us forward into, something more meaningful and a way to handle something, that's fine. But, to drown in it every day does no good.
That's no different than we talked about yesterday. The people on the line there, they're taking forever. That's not. But that's never us. I mean, we're never that way anyway.
We definitely have to find opportunity in what.
And sometimes sitting in a room with those people is very difficult. If you're sitting in a meeting room and you got someone that does that,
yeah, we've been in those meetings, haven't we?
We all have. Listen, that's everybody has their own way of dealing with things for sure. But I mean, there's no reason, and we could sit here and whine all we want, but it gets us nowhere.
And speaking of whining, how much whining is going on with the Major League Baseball Players Union and the?
Yes, I thought we were not going to. We took the baseball players off the set on purpose because we didn't want to talk about this and be more upset.
There's something I'm not understanding.
They're greedy. They're being greedy.
Wait a second. Maybe somebody can explain to me. I see Joe DiModio jumped on, so maybe he can explain that the evidently what happened was the Major League Baseball said, the commissioner said, there will unequivocally be baseball this year.
And where'd that get?
We've gone through all of these different meetings and ideas and scenarios, and the players just they pretty much turned down everything. So now today or Sunday night, I think there was a show on it, Sunday night or last night, and the commissioner said he had to backtrack on what he said, and it looks like there might not be baseball. And he said it'll be a disaster for the sport. It'll be I'm not ranting, I'm just saying what he said. That it would be a disaster for baseball, which Joe DiModio said on the show last week. And the players union got annoyed because they said that. Hi. Thank you. Welcome. They said that
I miss you.
She's busy. Get a little bit of work. He has been negotiating under false pretenses the whole time. So but isn't he like the middle guy? That's the way I understood it. He said
he should be the person in between the union and the owners and the players.
The owners seemed like they want to get things done. But he will not say that he will not. I don't understand. I don't get it. Please get in a room and let's get this done. I'm missing baseball.
We are. We all are. This
is not
disgusting.
It's not funny anymore, guys. Okay.
It's not funny anymore. I don't really want to go on a rant. I really don't.
No, we're not going to rant. It was just, come on.
No, you're right.
Already.
I think it's disgusting.
It's time to get past it.
Grow some
Well, we are in the age for various reasons why people are hesitant to state what they have to say because we don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt.
Oh, we got a lot of snowflakes.
So
Snowflake Central.
it's a difficult time to be in negotiations. It's just what our nation collectively is going through an unimagiable shitty time right now. I hate to say. I'm not saying it's shitty.
And then
there's a lot going on.
Add it all up, and then but even like the whole thing with people, the expression and that's not new. I mean, that's been we've been building up a lot of that, right? And so I'm struggling. Baseball, please come back. We need to look. I mean, we have bowling to look forward to on TV, but it's not the same. We want baseball back, and I haven't seen anything that's making me feel positive.
You know what I think it is? I want to know who to blame. I want to know whose fault.
I want to know which agent or which player is the one that's speaking the loudest in those rooms. Because that happens, right? There's somebody that, or multiple, that certainly speak up the most, and then of course
probably
change
the players' reps, whoever they have that are the players' reps. And
the refs
they
can't be
represent
happy either about this. I mean,
I can't imagine.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in those rooms,
just to see how it goes.
To see who do we need to smack or bitch slap.
All right, so Joe DiModio or Joe Laverty, come on, give us some. Give us some insight.
So yesterday, if you watched, we had Bill Dulowski, also aka Wacky, coach of the St. John's University men's bowling team. And I say men's, but men's loosely because there are females
they have been and are, I don't know currently, but they're, yes.
Yeah, no ladies now, but he's had some ladies.
Yes.
And so in a quick conversation, I don't know if Gary Brown is still here, but Gary Brown just popped in a little while ago, who I'm going to put him on the spot. We're going to invite Gary on the show if he's allowed.
Yeah, if he's allowed.
I think he confirmed that Wacky might be the longest tenured active coach, and behind him Becky, which we talked about,
very close,
very
close, yes, very close.
So yeah, we couldn't. I think.
Well, I know that. Well, Becky's been there as long as Lisa went there, and she was there before Lisa was there. So that goes back to the early 90s, I'm going to say.
And the funny part, Ron Holmes might be the next one he was saying, started in 91. Becky started in 93.
Oh, okay. And so, Ron Holmes coaches, yeah, I know the name. I just, sometimes, but if you think about it, you have to look at the colleges that have had programs that long.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot. I mean, back when...
No. I mean, right, you had a very small...
Back in the day, they were, they were pockets of teams. And, there are some that have been around for a long time, but to have the same coach over that period of time, that says a lot.
It takes commitment to do any job for that length of time.
Yeah.
And I think those jobs are, we talked about it with Wacky a little bit. Go back to watch the interview. He was great.
Yeah.
We could have talked much longer.
Yes, we could have.
Because he's another talker.
He likes to talk.
To death. He's great. And he's got a lot of respect from the players and the other coaches.
Super.
But he's been, Liz right now is not happy. She's trying to get the TV on. And she just snapped. I just watched her throw her arms up and snap. I don't know what's happening in the pro shop, but something's happening. And I didn't know. I didn't pick up on this yesterday. I don't know if you did. Just pointed out episode 81 that Wacky was on.
Right.
And he started in 1981.
We planned that.
We did not.
We didn't. The week was a try.
I thought that was pretty cool. That was pointed out to me yesterday. I was like, oh, check it out. Well, thanks, Gary Brown, for that. And if you want to know anything about college bowling, he's the guy. He's been with USPC for quite some time. I mean, started in rules, worked his way up, and he's running the youth department these days, and he's been with college bowling for a lot of time. And he's another person who's widely respected, especially by the coaches and players, for the work that they do. NCAA, and there's a lot when it comes to college bowling. There's so many,
and it's grown so much, which is really it's really good to see, because it used to be the choices were small. If you wanted to go, if you were very talented and you wanted to go to a premier college, and the spots were at a premium.
Oh yeah.
And now it's so good to see that there are so many choices of college, which it benefits the athlete. To be honest with you, they can go in a region that they might want to go in, and I think they have a better chance of finding an educational track that fits not only bowling but something that they want to study. So I think that that's one of the biggest benefits of the growth of the college program, is that they can find something that they're not only bowling, because bowling is great, but like he said, that a lot of these kids are not going to go on to be professional bowlers. Some of them will, but
and many of them have
education.
Not enough when it comes to
education is so important.
I tell them all the time, find what you're looking for first,
right?
And then if they have the sport. But to your point, many of them there were more options out there for schools, and now because of that, college bowling. Like you mentioned yesterday too, it was an emerging sport at one time where all these programs were adding bowling as a sport,
right?
And then you'd think the opposite kind of happens, where after that emerging piece, the high school bowling became the fastest growing sport for high schools.
Right.
So, you would think it would be the other way around,
right? Because that would be the push off.
Did it become an emerging sport, which then the high schools looked at it and said, "Oh, we should be offering something," and kind of it happened the other way around,
right?
Hey, however it happens,
right?
Almost every high school has some sort of bowling offering,
right?
Whereas the colleges, you still have a small percentage that don't, but you have a large percentage that does that offer bowling, but so many more now, and competition for dollars, because there are more scholarships available for bowling through these universities, which has been great. More on the women's side, and a lot to do with Title IX, and a lot of NCAA, and a lot of building up the programs. No different than what Wagner College did.
Right,
needed to add a women's sport, and then look at your options.
Right. Well, I think that if you think about it, is that like athlete driven? So if it's driven from the top down, is it that it became emergent in the college and then drifted down to the high school, because there was so much more exposure in college that kids, and to be honest with you, parents started pushing their kids into it more, because look, this is a way to get money for college. This is an opportunity for you, and kind of urge them into those kind of tracks and those kind of programs. Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't know about other programs across or in this region or other regions. I just don't see a lot of young females, taking that bowling passion.
Yeah, I think it depends. There's
a lot of things go in waves. And there was so many other. There's so much other competition for.
I think it also is based on your. Oh, the TV's on. Looks like she got it.
Thank God.
It depends on your local bowling center in your area, because if you're a young, and I say specifically to young ladies, maybe there aren't as many that are bowling, but if you're a young lady going to go to your local bowling center and join a youth program, and you're the only young lady there, are you going to stick with it? Are you going to part of participating in any sport or recreation is socialization.
Yeah.
So now, do these young ladies girls get turned off by not having other girls around? We're lucky. We have a large program, and we have a lot of females. Could we certainly use? Yeah, there's certainly plenty more. But you shouldn't you're walking into an environment where there's a small youth program to begin with, and then you're the only one. Depending on the type of person you are or the type of athlete, yes, you're gonna compete no matter what.
Yeah,
but I think girls are going to be more. I'll give you the first one to say I'm out before a boy does.
Well, the girl,
and it's a socialization.
It's right. There is kind of that pack mentality type thing where, if my friends are doing it, then I want to do it.
Right.
I mean, that's how I ended up bowling when I was younger. And yeah. So and listen, we need some. We're just like everything else. We need some influencers.
Yeah, no, but it's no different than building up the program. I mean, look at what we've built the CYO program, which has been great. And I will say, we have excuse me, I didn't even eat a nice mixture of male and female. Yes, ratio wise, we do have more males,
A lot more boys.
but there are a decent amount of females, and they're in groupings, which meant that they brought their friends. So how do you continue that through? And the whole thing with college and scholarships, and that's another funny subject. When you look at the amount of money that, one of the things that's unique about our sport and our offering, we give away a lot of dollars in scholarship money to kids
as they're going up through
right, which is a good and a bad thing. And I can argue more of the bad side because, one, we've created this environment, this pay for play, you're bowling for money. At the same time, these funds have grown so big. There's all the scholarship money that we've given out and available, but even as the scholarship program has grown, participation went down, which you'd hope for the opposite. You would think that these scholarship programs
that was the purpose of
would
the implementation.
encourage more kids to bowl, and it's not. It doesn't. It's not a driver to say,
right,
I'm going to go bowl. It's definitely a good enhancement to a program.
Yes,
but it's not the reason
not the driver.
why.
It's not the way.
People
because you know why? Because
something.
Kids are not. Because kids, I believe that a large part of it is that kids are driving that decision over what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're not driven by money.
They're not driven by scholarship. No. Half of them don't even claim their money. We have to.
Well, that's the larger problem.
To chase after the parents or remind the parents. Listen, you have this scholarship money. Don't forget about it. So, yeah. So, is it? Do we go? Do we market to the kids? I think it's a two-part thing. You have to market to the kids the fun and the social and the socialization, and then market to the parents that, listen, this is an opportunity to earn some money towards college. It's not what it's about, but it is an additional benefit. Your kids are never going to sit there. All the things that we do.
Yeah.
Market it the way you would market anything else. It's an opportunity for your child to be involved in a sport where they're going to play no matter what. We have coaches. They're going to learn. They're going to learn life skills. So, yeah, that's and listen, you tout like anybody else. You tout the benefits of the sport.
Well, listen, again, with any it's with any activity, whatever activity you choose, you want. Listen, we want you to choose bowling.
I definitely will say that we don't have the benefit of the Olympics, which people will say,
there's aspirational value,
but it's a big. Well, how many kids ice skate because it's in the Olympics? Most kids are not going to.
Yeah, every 4 years, every 2 years, they see these Olympians,
and there's this huge spurt in
activity.
Right.
Gymnastics saw that for not now, but
yes.
Gymnastics saw that for a long time, where they saw resurgence in participation. But it's also based on the athletes. And listen, you look at gymnastics is a great example. In the last 10 to 12 years, we've had some amazing young ladies come through the gymnastics program.
Incredible.
And so you look at Simone Biles, a great example, who she's set records. She's phenomenal, but she created this aspirational value. I want to be Simone Biles. Not me. I'm just these young girls and
if
boys.
You did, it's fine.
No, I'm not.
And you know what?
I mean, I want to be able to do that.
I don't want to make it into a political thing again, but in a broken atmosphere in gymnastics.
Well, yeah, but that was kind of the beginning. So when she was earning medals, right? That was kind of the beginning of whoa, what's happening here? And then then all the girls started speaking. Oh, it was totally broken and disgustingly broken to see what's happened. And so now this organization is struggling greatly because of what they allowed to happen. I hate to, I don't want to.
But you know what? There is absolutely no reason any of that should have happened. But you could see how complacency and permeated that entire, and blind trust. And that's how something like that happens.
He's not to blame alone either. I do believe that there are many guilty parties, parents in some cases. I mean, this is the way that grew and became what it became is not just one person. And it said the one good thing that's come out of it, it's opened eyes for people to operate a little differently in today's world in youth sports. So the issue that we do have, it's creating an environment for other governing bodies to make sweeping changes very fast. And I use bowling as a great USBC and bowling as a great example. Fortunately, USBC was was the first governing body to launch a screening program. And if you remember, it wasn't necessarily something that was popular at the time.
Oh, it was very unpopular.
We go back to 2000.
There were a lot of people that were not happy.
2004, even before the merger, this was coming and not very popular. That I have to pay to do a background screen. Yeah. And today it's so widely accepted because now there's a cost. There's a cost, and recently USBC and this National Center for Safety Initiatives announced a change in the fee structure, which will make it more affordable and easier to go through the screening process. But it's so imperative that our coaches and volunteers go through something that we know who they are, what their background is, and whether they should be working with our kids. Now, granted, just because somebody goes through the background screening today doesn't act on something later on, but at least there's a starting point. And so this wouldn't have stopped Nasser because it was no criminal charges.
Yes,
until criminal charges come through. So the environment has completely changed as a result of some of these acts. And
just the fact that people know that people are aware and looking now, it hopefully keeps some of those not so good people out. Excuse me. It's plus the allergies. It's just crazy weather. So so the important part is, and even some of the coaches have said it that have been on, is, as much as you want your kid at a younger age to kind of specialize in something, that generally the better athletes come from multiple sports, kids that play in multiple sports. And Wendy Konenkamp makes a point about that once kids get out of grammar school, it's a little more difficult for them to participate in multiple sports. Yeah. And because of time or, other school obligations.
That's the age, between the ages of 8 and 12, puberty. I mean, there's a lot happening in a young person's body, first of all, and decision making. So life is changing. I'm going to go to junior high, or even just stepping up. If you're in a school that goes to 8th grade, it's still a difference. You are changing, and everything around you is changing. So if you don't capture someone between the age of 8 and 12, you're never going to see them, because that's the time that they are ingrained in an activity.
Kids that take on something in high school for the first time are rare.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for someone, and I give a lot of credit. We see it a lot in bowling, and I think it's because of what we offer. In high school. We've talked about this too. In high school sports, it's very easy for someone to say, I'm going to go take that up and I'm going to try it. But I give a lot of credit to those kids that will show up and just go, I'm going to give this a shot.
Absolutely. It's funny because, when you think about the sports itself. Now, when I was younger, I played softball, I bowled, and I ice skated. I did multiple things, but that was because the structure of the sports themselves kind of had their own season. That really doesn't happen a lot anymore.
Well, no.
So now baseball, if a kid is
multiple
playing
seasons.
baseball, he's playing baseball almost
Fall
all
ball,
year.
spring balls. I mean, they're playing year round.
So now, it does become difficult. Where it used to be, we bowled in the fall to spring. We played softball from spring to summer, and then in the summertime, we kind of had some time,
No
all our own
activities were
to
maybe
do.
some kids camp.
Yeah.
Depending
We
on
went to camp. A lot of us went to camp, and it really isn't like that anymore because sports have kind of become so important that they don't have a season anymore. They are kind of just spread out. Like if you wanted to play baseball, you could pretty much find a baseball almost all year long. So there's even the structure of sports has changed too. So that's made things difficult for parents to juggle.
No, and so now the other aspect, right? More parents are working, both parties are working. Where at one time,
Now you squeeze that in on top of
So
everything
now
else.
I'm working, and so now if mom and dad are both working, well, who's taking my child to sport? That's another big piece of it. And that's how the world has changed so much, and that's society as a whole. And one of the things, if anybody knows me well, I've talked about this a lot. But there's the book Bowling Alone, and it's nothing about bowling, but it just talks about
society and the changes.
It talks about the average American family and how people interact and the activities they do. And I would challenge anybody to go read that book. It's still prominent, it's still relevant today.
Yeah,
with some minor changes, but it makes a lot of sense and explains the reason why people don't commit to things and where they did before. We've just changed, and so how do you adapt with that change over time?
Yeah.
But for youth sports, my nephew does. He did soccer for a while. He's baseball. He loves baseball. He loves bowling. He does almost year round, as much as he can. And then he did basketball at school. CYO. What else? It's always something.
Yeah.
She does gymnastics and now dancing, which she had to do They did a virtual.
Did they do a virtual
recital? So she got her they had to go pick up her dress, and then they did a Zoom dance recital.
They're still gonna get that money.
Yep. But I have to say, I didn't get to see that. They didn't share the video.
It really is cute though.
But Mrs. Rosemary did a nice thing. And it's not the same seeing the kids on stage, although a virtual dance recital might be better than.
Yeah, going forward might be a good idea.
Might be better than having to sit. If anybody sat through a dance recital before.
Many of them.
We'd love to see the kids on stage and doing it. She was excited. She was beautiful in her little dress. Yeah. And she was very excited to do it.
Yeah.
But it's not the same, especially when you're working up to something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that they practice for, and parents spend a tremendous amount of money on those recital, and then you can get as much into it as you want. Right. If they're on a competitive team or a whatever they call it, I forget what
the dance team, dance troupe.
Yeah, whatever they call it. Right. If you're in competition, then that's a whole nother set of things. So these things cost people money.
Speaking of kids, here's a picture of Nikki.
My grandson, first day of school and stepping up.
You took a picture of the screen?
I did. Nazareth sent me that picture. She could. It was on it. Yeah, that's how they did it. That's the school.
This is the school stepping up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. Did a virtual stepping up.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's so big. Look at his hair.
He's got his COVID haircut.
He definitely has a COVID
on the bottom.
That is funny. Well, congratulations to Nikki. A lot of the schools are embracing. Have embraced this virtual stepping up. It's cute. I love the sign thing. I like the schools that.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Nikki. Does he stay in the same now where he is? Is he staying in the same school, stepping up?
I believe yes, because he's coming out of kindergarten. This is big boy school that we called it for a year and a half to prepare him for it, because he was very attached to his teachers in the previous school.
That's how it happens.
And he just set his own speed, but he did great.
That's exciting. Congratulations.
He did great.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, no, this is the stinky part of
seeing the family
and friends.
Hey, Naz, we've been sharing some old photos in honor of our 25th anniversary here at Rabs. This is, I don't know what year this is. This is early 2000s. This is one of the Hall of Fame dinners.
These are always gems. Look at
good old Dave Kaczynski, and my dad, and Patty Van Gogh. Dave was being, I think this has to be
the 300?
3, 4. I don't know if it was when Dave was recognized for his 800 series or 300.
I mean,
it was they're all within the same time frame. Yeah. Check out his hair. I mean, he's embraced the bald these days.
He looks little in that picture,
and he's not as thin, my friend Dave. I mean, most of us.
Well, he's a grown man now. He's a kid in that thing. He's practically a baby.
We were in high school. It was pretty cool. But this is
Dave.
Well, and the nice thing at the time during these events, which we've talked about, we had Joe LeBalger, one of the historian, on how that event is really an alumni event. You get to see people you haven't seen, and so which is really cool. And some shout outs to Nikki. They used to set up a lot of the articles and artifacts outside.
Yeah, so you could kind of see the history a little bit.
I was getting that because that was what was in the background.
Yeah,
a lot of that we have lost. Sadly. Yeah, a couple of things we do have, like the Victory Lanes 300 trophy, which sits here in the lobby.
There in the lobby.
Jimmy might be cursing me today. I gave him a new project. He's ripping things off a wall and we're moving things around and trying to find some new homes for things. So he came in and I just looked at him. I said, "Oh, we're doing this." I said, "Just add this to your list whenever you're ready. You can't do this piece alone, but you can do this." So we're just trying to find some new spots for things that we're hanging in. But that trophy is in the vestibule, which my dad had built.
It was nice to see that come back.
I had to purchase it for $10.
I remember that. Pretty funny.
That and a bunch of photos I got for another $10. Stuff that I had to buy stuff from someone that
originally belonged to right. Originally belonged to us anyway.
So my dad donated this trophy and built it for Victory Lanes, and now it's in this warehouse. And
now I have to buy it
back. I mean, that was so. I mean, the stuff. If I had a place to put that stuff,
there was some stuff in there.
I really wanted some of the lanes. That would have been really cool, but I just didn't know where to put things.
Yeah.
So a lot of it went off to auction, or sadly got thrown away because it wasn't being taken care of properly.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
It's a shame. Hey, so and I do want to make a point. So Wendy, going back to the sports, Wendy also makes a point that there are very few recreational sports leagues for kids after age 10 or 12. And it is true. I mean, by the time that a kid gets to that point, they're starting to become more competitive.
Yeah.
And it starts to become where when it gets to that point, in a league that's looking to win games, the more talented kids are going to play more than the other kids. And it's not as a recreational activity as much as it is a competition. So, she does make the point where it's just not, it's just not as much fun
for
kids if they don't excel in the sport.
Right.
And maybe they just
If there's a
really
clear
still want to do it.
But there is a clear separation in some cases where there's in baseball they're going to sit the bench. So at that point now they're sitting the bench. They really want to participate.
Right. And does a parent really want to subject their kid to that? So
do you want to spend the money?
Right.
And not be able to fully play? I mean, that definitely comes into play.
Yeah. And she does make a point where that's why she feels like bowling is such a great sport because, it doesn't matter because we're all here having a good time and competing.
Yeah.
And that really does make bowling an additional thing that I believe bowling brings to the table.
Yes, please tell us. Enlighten us. You're in the enlightening mood today.
Is that it kind of teaches kids you don't have to be the best, but we're all here having a good time. And I'm not saying that we haven't had issues where there were kids that felt, why is this kid bowling here? Because he's not as good as me. So you know what? Because everybody deserves a place at the table here.
Well, that's team element.
That's what we show kids. And now think about it as they grow and learn in life that, maybe they're the good ones now. So yeah, maybe, but you know what? You don't know where you're going to end up in your job. And you might be the least talented person there, but you know what? Now you've learned that, I might not be the most talented, but I still have a place at the table because I'm here.
Yeah.
And my place is just as important as everybody else's. I mean, and as somebody who, when I first started bowling, I wasn't really good. And but we had a good time anyway. With my team, we always had a good time. And I was not the type of person that was going to continue to do something if I didn't do it well. So I used to go and practice by myself when I was a kid, and nobody did that. So,
and look where that got you.
Look where that got me. Sitting in a empty bowling center.
I'm not talking right now.
No, but so yeah, and I just think that the many lessons of team sports and bowling is invaluable. I think it's invaluable.
Couldn't agree more. It's one of the greatest things that we provide.
It's wonderful sport.
But it's the team element certainly helps. And yeah, you're right. You've got there are disparities depending on the kids' age. You do our best, and we do our best with making sure that everybody has a place.
Has a place, and you know what? Maybe as a more talented player, maybe your place is to help that other person along in life.
Yeah.
Help them along. Help them learn. You get something out of it yourself, and look what you give somebody else.
I don't like to pick out favorites, but those are my favorite kids. That
love those kids. How could you not love those kids?
We can talk about these kids all day long. Hey, so the rest of the week here on Live from Raps, we've got a bunch of guests. Tomorrow,
unlike today.
It's us. We like that.
We like that Tuesday every once in a while.
You get a little dose of Naz and Frank. Well, in the inner sanctum, which is kind of quiet today.
It's good.
The phone, of course, they weren't here yesterday, and the phone was ringing off the hook. And today I heard the phone ring, but not as often. Tomorrow on Live from Raps, we have our friends Christine Dehart and Vinnie Perno, the Oktoberfest Committee, representing the Rotary Clubs of Staten Island, along with Rolling Thunder, and they're going to talk about their event that they announced will take place this fall, which we're hoping will be one of the first public gatherings.
It'll be the big kickoff.
Yeah, that people can get together. So we're looking forward. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk a little bit about what Rotary does and what Rolling Thunder does.
Speaking of devil, you made the phone ring.
It might be the person that tried to call me that's now calling that number. It just happens to be as soon as it disconnected that rang. Maybe not. You never know. We'll have our weekly check-in with Pam Silvestri. We'll talk
food.
Lori, we need a little dose of Lori McCall. If I haven't seen you, I miss you too. And PBA champion Mike Fagan's on the show this week.
It's going to be so nice to talk to Michael.
So rest of the week looks nice here on Live from Rabs. Before you know it, it'll be episode 90, and then 100.
Then 100.
And then after 100 or so, we'll be open. That's what we're looking for. I mean, that's the only way that we can get through this. Day 92 of this
ridiculous quarantine.
But but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's coming. So,
Yeah.
we-
Hopefully, it's not a train.
and then Friday night is bingo night. So if you're looking for something to do inside your house, with your
BINGOOO.
friends and family, come and join us for bingo, virtual bingo, sinorchurotary.org/bingo. We'll give away a lot of cash prizes and
Big prizes Friday.
guaranteed bingo jackpot.
500 simoleons.
Simoleons. So come and join us for bingo. It's always a fun time. And we're live from Inside Wraps. Give away all the prizes. We play bingo. We play Plinko. Naz was a big winner a couple weeks ago. Not so much this week.
Not so much. Not at all this week. And not at all before. But that's okay. It's okay. It's fun.
It's what it's supposed
We
to
do a little family setup. We're playing bingo. I have to say something.
be. Yes.
Ray was playing, right? We're playing.
Yeah.
Me, my mom, and Ray.
And Liz has been
And
busy the last
Liz
couple
has
weeks.
been busy on Fridays. You know, she has a life unlike us. And so he had to maybe he had to go to the bathroom or something. He goes, "Can you watch my cards?" So I said, "Yeah." So I take his cards and I put them on my little table. He has the neatest cards I have ever seen.
But he's a
Oh no. This is I took a picture of it because I didn't believe it. This is the kind of card you would think I would have, and I wouldn't even show you my bingo card because it's not super neat. I am telling you, each spot is dabbed with the perfect circle. I couldn't believe it. I had to take it. It shocked me.
You have to send that to me.
And I will send you the picture. I just want to make sure I have it of his bingo cards. It's actually funny.
I
Anyway.
don't get to play. So my bingo cards probably would be an absolute mess. And even as a neat freak that I am, I would probably just keep dabbing across.
That's what happens. That's what I do.
So Friday's bingo night. Come and join us. Come and play. Maybe you can win $1 million. Not really, but actually, you have the chance to it. We give away scratch off. So those
Give
could
away a
be
scratch
$1 million
off. It
winners.
could be.
So anyway, thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for your little taking in a little dose.
A
of
little
Nazareth
dose.
and Frank.
It's a little dose.
Shout out to my friends who are on a conference call that I'm coming back to.
You can have him back.
To go
I'm
listen
done.
to. I've missed an
done.
hour of whatever the conversation was, so I hate to jump in, but I think I'll be fine. I'll catch up. Some good conversations, some great work. So as Naz would say, smash the like button, smash the love
Subscribe. Love us. Send us some hearts.
button. Tell your friends
We
and
like
family.
it all.
We're here until further notice. 2:00 every day,
Every
except
day.
for Sundays.
No Sundays.
And in the meantime, just keep washing your hands, keep a social distance,
And don't touch your
get out of
face.
my personal space.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
Don't creep up
tomorrow.
on me online, okay? Don't creep up. No creeping.
Naz,
That was awesome.
see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.